Now, our next guest has a huge fan base online and always seems to be living their best life, but away from social media. Ollie London, who identifies as non-binary, says they've secretly spent many years feeling trapped in the wrong body.
Well, last month, the British-born social media star underwent what Ollie has called racial transition surgery and announced that they now identify as Korean.
Well, this has prompted quite a big reaction around the world, and Ollie joins us now to tell us more. Ollie, welcome. It's lovely to see you this morning. Thank you for being here. So,
안녕하세요. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hiya.
So this was a big moment for you, actually, and it was last week that you came out to the world as being Korean, only last week, and the reaction has been huge. But your love of all things Korean started a while back, didn't it?
So my love of Korea actually started about 9 years ago. I used to live in Korea and I was an English teacher there. And I just became so fascinated with the culture, with everything about it, the language, the food, the people. And that's actually when I started having plastic surgery to have the Korean look. And it's just gone since then. I've just become absolutely obsessed with Korea, with BTS, with Jimin. And finally, I've just had my transition surgery on my eyes, my brow, to complete my new Korean look. And I've never been happier.
So we'll just explain BTS, the band BTS, and also Jimin as well. So just explain that for anyone who doesn't know.
So if anyone who doesn't know BTS, like you're obviously living under a rock, but BTS right now are the biggest boy band on the planet. They're so amazing. They spread positivity, they spread love, and they have honestly done so much for Korea. And I'm absolutely obsessed with Jimin, who is one of the singers. And I've had 18 surgeries to look like Jimin, and I feel like I've nailed it. I'm almost there.
So you've said that you felt like you've been trapped in the wrong body for many years. Just explain that a little bit.
So I feel the only way of really comparing this is maybe someone that's transgender, and I mean no offence to the transgender community, this is just how I would explain it, is someone that feels like they're born in the wrong body. So for the last 9 years, I felt like I've been trapped. Since I lived in Korea, I feel like I identify as Korean. Everything about the culture is me. You know, I feel at home there. I don't feel judged. I feel like Korean people accept me. I feel like I have the look now. So it's been a very difficult journey, but I just feel like, you know, it's how I felt inside, and I've just felt trapped, and there's no better way of explaining it than that. And it's like someone that maybe is born in the wrong body. I felt that way for so long.
Or born in the wrong country.
Well, in my case, born in the wrong country. I wasn't born in Korea, but I feel like in a past life, I was meant to be born in Korea, yes. Because
you mentioned that, and it's lovely. I'm so glad that, you know, when you're there, that you are looked after, and that people accept and are inclusive, which is really important. But Korean national Sandra Song, who writes for the LA magazine paper, said, as someone who actually has Korean DNA, I can say someone suddenly deeming themselves Korean is incredibly offensive, especially since it effectively trivialises our identities because they're suddenly trendy.
You know, I think there's so many problems these days with woke culture, and there's so many people, which I think it's fantastic people have opinions, but I feel like people are so quick to play the race card. So obviously, Paper Magazine is a very kind of, you know, very woke magazine, and which is fine, you know, but I do feel like they were quite harsh with their criticism, and I feel like they have a lack of understanding. And of course, I understand the journalist was of Korean ancestry, and I respect Korea so much, but I just feel like people are so quick to judge these days. You know, it's fine to identify as 100 different genders. It's fine to identify as an alien if you want to, but why can't I identify as Korean? So I don't see why people take offence. And I understand that she may be from Korean ancestry, and I respect that. But I just feel like, you know, she's just targeting me wrongly. You know, I haven't actually done anything wrong to offend Korea. And I feel like I'm one of the biggest ambassadors for Korea and for Korean people.
You said earlier on that you had these 18 procedures, cosmetics. I mean, it's cost an awful lot of money, £175,000. Now, when you look in the mirror, do you feel that what you see on the outside reflects what's going on inside? Are you happy?
I never really reached that point of happiness, to be honest. I was so happy, you know, recently when I did my eye surgery and I looked in the mirror, I was actually crying, even though it was painful to cry. I was crying for the first time, just thinking, wow, this has been such a journey, and I finally got the look I wanted. But I feel like it's a never-ending journey. It's like now I'm already thinking, OK, I'm in Beverly Hills, I need to do my next surgery. And I'm already thinking, OK, now I need Jimin's body, I need the K-pop star body. So it's kind of like it's never-ending. So I get kind of temporary happiness, which is, I guess it's quite sad in a way. But I'm much happier than I used to be. You know, I have so much more confidence since I was a teenager. And, you know, I just feel great. So I hope people can respect that. This is the way I identify. This is how I feel. And, you know, I'm just living my best life. And I mean, no offence to anyone. I'm just trying to live my life.
Well, I mean, I think it would be very harsh to judge you for that, that's for sure. Everybody is on a search for happiness and living their best life, and if you are closer to that, then that's got to be celebrated. And but you've, as Holly said, those 18 surgeries that you've had, what have you had done?
So I've done so many things, Phil. So I've had 5 nose jobs. I've had my jawbone shaved down. I've had my chin bone cut off, reattached. So I've got titanium screws in my chin. I've had my cheekbones reduced, all to get the kind of more cute Korean aesthetic. I've recently had my eyes done. I've had a brow lift. I've had fat reduction here, liposuction, nipple correction. Like, there's so many things I've done. I also have whitening injections. I have loads of filler in my lips. And it's just, you know, it just makes me happy. And I feel like having this Korean aesthetic, it makes me feel amazing, and I do identify as Korean, and I hope people can, over time, understand that. I know it might be a new concept,
Ollie,
but yeah.
Why does nipple correction make you more Korean?
Well, I guess that was just random, but I was always unhappy with my chest. I used to get teased, you know, I used to get called fat at school, so I don't think the nipples necessarily make me Korean, but certainly the facial procedures, I feel like they make me Korean. But yeah, nipples is like, you know, I guess that
just
doesn't
get
make
it
me
fixed
Korean.
whilst you're there.
Can I ask you then,
Yeah.
when you were just saying there, you know, you hope that people will just come to accept you. What about those closest to you, those that have known you since you were born, your family members? What do they think?
You know, Holly, it's been really, really tough. I actually haven't spoken properly with my family since I had my surgery a few weeks ago, and it's been very tough. You know, I've had so many friends that will no longer speak to me because of the surgeries, or they think, how dare you identify as Korean? You know, you weren't born in Korea. But at the end of the day, no one can take away my truth. If this is the way I feel, you know, I feel so happy when I think about Korea. K-pop gives me happiness. Jimin, BTS give me happiness. So it's like, I hope over time people can understand. But yeah, my family, it's been very tough. They never like me having surgery, even if I have lip filler. But this has been the worst because they're actually not speaking to me right now. So you know, I feel very lonely.
I hope that improves.
So
and
do
they come round as well. What about going to live there, or maybe getting your citizenship if you can do that, or the nationality or the paperwork? Would you go that far?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm trying right now. You know, I do want to become a Korean citizen, and for males in Korea, it is actually mandatory to do 2 years military service. And I've already offered, you know, the Korean people, that I will actually give 2 years of my life to do military service if they give me a citizenship. Like, I will do anything to be Korean. Like, so I really hope they recognise my, you know, contribution to Korea. I'm always spreading K-pop around the world and spreading Korean culture. So I really hope Korean people will give me an honorary citizenship, or maybe the president of Korea, or even Jimin might reach out to me and say, hey, we're going to make you Korean officially.
And you actually produce your own K-pop music as well, don't you?
Yeah, so I've actually released quite a number of songs. I've had 2 songs on the iTunes top 10 on the K-pop charts. And yeah, I produce it all in the UK. I work with so many different producers, Korean artists as well. And it's just about happiness. I feel K-pop is about spreading love, spreading positivity. And I just want to make people smile. I want to make people happy, and I want to promote Korean culture at the same time. So, you know, I'm just having fun with what I'm doing. I'm promoting Korea, and I just hope people can appreciate that and, you know, stop hating me online for being different.
What about language? How far down the line are you being able to speak Korean?
You know, I've been learning quite a lot. Like, let me introduce myself to you, Phil. 안녕하세요, Olli입니다. 만나서 반갑습니다. 사랑해요. So that is, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. I love you. So that, I've been learning a lot of phrases. I have a Korean teacher, but now what I want to do, I want to focus my Korean language lessons on actually changing my accent. So when I speak English, I want to actually have more of a cute, like, Korean sound, like 안녕하세요, 사랑해요, which is how Korean people talk. So now I'm kind of trying to train my voice with elocution lessons to have more of a Korean accent.
I don't think that anybody could possibly doubt your dedication, Ollie, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
it's
you.
fascinating. Thank you for talking to us. I hope your folks get back in touch with you because...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, hopefully they'd like to see you happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.